Should the side deck be changed from 15 cards to a 10 or a 20 card limit? Let's talk about this. I done a video talking about what if the extra deck were to change to 10 or 20 cards. Check it out, please. Link in the description down below. Now, in terms of the side deck, if it were to have 20 cards, why would this be beneficial? Well, one of the things is that we have a greater variety of cards, and there's more cards now needed to combat and compensate for these kind of strategies that exist in the game right now. Remember, the side deck number as well as the extra deck number has stayed consistently at a 15 card limit since the inception of the game. In that time, there's been various additions to both extra deck monsters as well as just strategies and cards in general. We have over 10,000 unique prints right now in Yu-Gi-Oh! That is something quite mind-boggling, and everyone talks about the different variations and the different variants of decks available, and for that reason you need more counters if you want to try to counter these specific types of strategies, be it graveyard centric or special summon centric or a non-extra deck reliant deck. How do you combat every single one of them? With this ban list being ever more and more impressive, I think Konami are doing a great job in terms of putting out a even playing field. That doesn't seem to be, as of right now, April 2020, May 2020 format, there doesn't seem to be a runaway deck that is the absolute leader of this format, which can't be caught up as was the case in previous formats. I think that with a more even playing field, we are going to see a more representative image in terms of the amount of decks that are able to get far and do really well competitively. Another thing is that it's going to allow more versatility in the main and extra deck. By having a side deck that is 20 cards, you're able to chop and change the extra deck as well as the main deck, because remember, if you can have the same type of cards in the side deck, you can interchange it with the extra deck as well. Smoke screening will be even more possible, whereby one round you might have one type of deck and then you completely change it about and make it a different type of deck, and it will completely baffle your opponent. Another thing for 20 cards is that it's going to allow the decks who are regarded as tier 2.5 or decks which are not tier 1 or tier 0, they're not supremely good in terms of, okay, they will win a tournament, nah. It's going to allow them to be more competitive. It's going to also allow meta decks to prepare for anti-meta decks or stuff which are not currently in the meta at the moment. To be honest, increasing the side deck to 20 cards might eliminate the notion of anti-meta. That's a possibility. Again, I want to know your comments and your thoughts down below. What if it were to go to 10 cards as a limit? Well, of course, that's going to force further optimization of the main deck and extra deck, so that when they commit to a strategy, they commit and focus in the most efficient way. And this is going to increase skill. It's going to increase skill, and I think it's also going to potentially either make games really exciting or really boring, because if your opponent doesn't have a strategy or a counter for your stuff, you're just gonna bulldoze over them. But then again, that will force the player to improve as a duelist, and with that same notion, it's gonna radically shake up and change the complexion of the game itself. If this side deck being limited to 10 is coupled with the extra deck being increased to 20, or a side deck at 20 and the extra deck at 10, won't that make everything really interesting? I think, again, this is something that could potentially be put in play in the next couple of Master Rules. This doesn't have to happen now. This could happen in 3 years, 6 years or 9 years. So if this happens to be the case, check out this video in that time and let me know if that was the case or not. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Comment down below. Do you think the side deck should be limited? Check out the extra deck video and check out the Yu-Gi-Oh videos in general. Take care, stay safe.